Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So in this video, I want to talk about the flickers Max experienced in the Dust timeline and whether or not Tristan is the reason that she was brought to this timeline. So, if any of you haven't read issue 10 yet or you have forgotten, let me give you a refresher. So Max is at the beach and Tristan's with him, and Max mentions how with her powers, she thinks that she could enter the transect again and go back to her time, but back to her Chloe. But something's wrong. It feels like the way is locked to her, like she can't enter it. And Tristan shows her a picture, and it's of his best friend. It's a newspaper that came out the day after he was killed, and we find out that the day he was killed was the same day he got his powers, which was also the same day that Max entered this new timeline where she met up with Rachel and Chloe. Now, like, as we all know, like the timeline, like it was so simple in the game in the beginning, but now with this comics, it's really just like multiple timelines and just it's getting all complicated now. But I'm gonna give it a shot here and try to explain it. So this is what I think's happening. Tristan got his powers, right. When the moment Tristan got his powers, that's when Max started to experience her flickers. I know it says that he pulled Max into the timeline, but what I think's happening is Tristan got his powers and somehow it affected Max, and that's what was happening. She was like being pulled from reality. So the Dust timeline is Max's original timeline, but when Tristan got his powers, it created like a ripple of sorts. I'm not entirely sure what. Basically, you can think of it like an invisible lasso, and it's latched itself around Max's waist, and it's slowly pulling her to his timeline. But it has to go through multiple timelines before she can get there. That's why she experiences one timeline where the diner is fine, and what was her name? Juliet, I think it was, had that baby and she didn't get an abortion. Another timeline where Max was dead. One where one where Chloe just left Arcadia Bay and her dad was alive. If you remember, that was one of the first flickers in issue 1. And then the other timeline we found out where Chloe didn't want to go to the party, and the one where she's missing at the end of issue 1 of Dust. And I think in that timeline that Max sacrificed Chloe to save Arcadia Bay. So yeah, so what I think's happening here is that the Dust timeline is Max's original timeline. And this timeline that Max is in, she's not meant to be here. So when she entered the transect, she wasn't meant to do that. This was a huge mistake. And when she went to Tristan's timeline, she entered the exact same moment he got his powers. Now I know people are gonna say, oh, but issue when Max started getting the flickers in volume 1, a few days had passed, which, like, yeah, that is true, but as you know, with how the timeline is now, Max could have been experiencing flickers for days, weeks, even months, but since Tristan's power is basically dragging her to his timeline, she could have arrived at the exact same time he got his powers, which kind of, and it does make sense, because, like, as you all know, we saw at the end of issue 10, Tristan was able to go to Max's timeline and see Chloe there, but I don't know, it's a bit, the way Chloe's drawn looks like she's kind of fading in and out, so, you know, it's a little confusing, but you know what, I do think Tristan is in that timeline at some point. So anyways, that's really all I wanted to clarify about the flickers. I hope this helped you all out, and and please leave a comment in the description below to let me know if this video helped any of you out, or if it was a bad video and made you even more confused. But that's what I do think how Max got her flickers. I do think when Tristan got his powers, Max started getting her flickers, and when Max entered the transect, she was pulled into Tristan's timeline somehow. So that's really all I wanted to talk about. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll actually be making another one tomorrow about the timelines and how complicated they are, and hopefully we can piece together how this comic makes time travel work, because it was so simple in the game, but now it's just, oh god, so confusing. So that's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.